product of the 90s.
In the last 2 months, 7 bodies have been found around New England. And while law enforcement is not connecting the cases, people online have other ideas. Boston 25 News reporter Bob Ward joins us live in Brockton. Bob, the talk is getting loud enough for police to address these rumors.
Rachel, you know, more and more people online are paying attention to this. They are concerned that some or all of these cases might be connected and that a serial killer might be striking in New England. In some corners of social media, like Facebook, the idea that a serial killer could be on the prowl in New England is getting more popular. This Facebook group, New England SK, has nearly 9,000 members. And in other forums, people are posting their concern that some or all of the bodies recently found in New England might be connected to each other.
All right, one time. We in there. Boss was good with you.
Cooler, man. What we got on the docket here, man?
Yeah, this is something I ran across 10 days ago. It was uploaded, Boston 25 News. And what you see on the screen is bodies that have been found. And, you know, this true crime community, man, there's pros and cons to it. I will say that. These bodies being found all within this area. And instantly, true crime, this Facebook page, I'm pretty sure there's content creators in that Facebook page who are making videos saying that it's a serial killer on the loose. I don't know, man. It's you gotta have something. Go ahead.
This the era that we live in. Like this is a social media era, should I say? And anything that could be, and I don't want to say, I want to make sure I word this correctly. I don't want to say anything that could be content. People want to use it to create something, but at the same time, we're talking about murder, true crime. That's probably one of the biggest sectors on YouTube. Now, when we're talking about a serial killer, when the last time have we seen or heard of a serial killer? I mean, you could call the DC sniper a serial killer. I mean, if you want to, because they killed several people, right?
Well, the serial killer, it's a specific term, and the lines get blurred because, you know, there's people who will say there's some rappers out here who are serial killers. There's people who will say, you know, there's when it comes to it, you know, killing multiple people. I forget the exact term when it comes to serial killing. I actually look it up whenever we continue to play. But there are distinct things when it comes to it that people look for. And when it comes to these bodies, there's got to be some correlation between the crimes. At the end of the day, there's got to be some correlation between the crimes for people to jump to this theory that there is a serial killer. But I'm gonna let it keep playing.
All right.
Since the beginning of March, 7 bodies have turned up in Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts. Some of the bodies are unidentified remains. The bodies discovered in Groton and Killingly, Connecticut, are close to a Rhode Island case. So far, law enforcement is not connecting the cases. However, the talk online has grown so loud that recently Groton, Connecticut police issued a statement that said in part, regarding references circulating on social media about incidents in the state of Rhode Island, we currently have no information connecting those events to any of the incidents in Groton. Here in Massachusetts, the discovery of a human skull in Plymouth and another set of remains in Framingham is also being looked at.
Yeah, pause right there. Perfect.
Yeah, go ahead.
That last statement, they found skeleton remains. That means that body been there for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Now we're talking about the other bodies that may have found, if they're fresh. Let's just say they're fresh. And then you talking about skeleton remains. That means that serial killer been around for God knows how long, or it's not a serial killer. It's just a coincidence that these bodies are found in these areas. And you got to understand, when the last time we hear about any type of case like this happening in this area that we're speaking about today? You don't. So I guess it's shocking to a lot of people.
Yeah, and it is. Why? And I'm trying to wrap my mind around, why do you think, like, there was almost a serial killer era in America where there was multiple serial killers in jail at the same time. There's still some of them. The BTK guy, which Gary Ridgway, he got transferred the end of last year, I think. But when it comes to these, infamous serial killers, I'm trying to wrap my mind around why, did it just stop, or is it just, it looks different now, or did they just wise up? Like, did they just get smart type shit, You
want to think of a serial killer as an evil, intelligent individual, because to get away with several murders before they even find you or even connect the dots, you have to have some type of intellect, and I hate to use that term, but evil intelligence, should I say. Right. Now, you want to speak about the definition. A serial killer is a person who murders two or more people with the killings taking place over a significant period of time in separate events. That's the definition of a serial killer. Right. Now, does it have any... Go ahead.
Does it have any more, or does it keep going, or more detail?
So their psychological gratification is the motivation for the killings, and many serial murders involve sexual contact with the victims at different points during the murder process. That's pretty much what starts on into history. Yeah. But if we're talking about, it said a certain period of time. Right. I don't think skeleton remains with a fresh body, you can't connect those two, man. You can't. Because skeleton remains, I can't tell you how long it takes for it to turn to skeletons, but we know it's a long time. Right. And then let's just say years, and then you find another body. They're not gonna wait that long to kill the next victim, bro. I don't see that.
I mean, you would think. I have seen serial killers. What's the dude that used to wear the clown shit? I think he stopped. I think it was a Chicago dude with all them bodies in his basement where he dug out the crawl space and all that shit. He had a few. I think a couple moments where he stopped, for some years. I've seen serial killers, be with their wife, and then they'll stop, or they move to another place, and then it takes
John Gacy.
Yeah, I think that was him. Well, I have seen it, but you wouldn't think though. If someone has that insatiable will to kill, it's usually not just gonna stop and then start up again 6 years, whatever, this body's sitting in this shallow grave took to get skeletonized, if that's a word. So I can get that. It talks about 2 or 3, what did it say, 2 or 3 bodies, 2 or 3 murders, people over a period of time with significant intervals between the killings.
Separate events.
In which they call it...
They normally leave, or when the murder is happening, they have the same routine, should I say. Right. They normally, if they kill someone some way, they probably do it the same way. If they choke your ass out, they choke you out. They choke the next victim out. It's just something they do. And they also, some of them like taking trophies. Like when they was talking about sexual assault and things like that, they might take some panties from your house, whatever. Take some pictures of you, or whatever. Yeah. So it's normally you'll find details in each case that can be connected. And I don't think they have found it yet.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it. It sounds like a bunch of random killings going on. But we're gonna keep on listening. You know how this social media shit is, man. True crime. It's almost like that would be the newest thing. If there was, that would be the biggest thing in the true crime community. And it's almost like they want that. They're looking to find that shit.
In the late 1980s, a serial killer struck the New Bedford area. 9 women murdered, 2 missing. Author Maureen Boyle covered the case at the time and wrote a book about it. She is skeptical that a new serial killer might be at work right now.
Just because you have bodies found in a variety of places in New England, that does not mean that there's a serial killer on the loose in the area.
Boyle is concerned that online speculation can hurt people.
This is not a game. These involve real people. These involve real families.
Facts.
This is serious business.
I checked on the 2 Massachusetts cases. On that body that was found in Framingham recently, the district attorney's office is saying a case is under investigation, but it does not appear that person was a victim of foul play. Now, as for the remains of the human skull that was found in the woods of Plymouth, the Plymouth County DA's office says that case remains under investigation.
I definitely want to say this, and because I was actually leading towards this when I first spoke earlier. We're talking about sectors, and true crime is a big sector on YouTube. You got to think about YouTubers who have built their channels off of true crime and possibly did good work in doing presentations of crimes and things like that. That's how they make their money off of YouTube. So if there's anything to say about those YouTubers, and this may sound fucked up to say, but it's the truth. They make a living off of people's unfortunate demises, bro. They make a living people who actually went through something, and whether, like in this case, serial killer. Oh shit. Nobody, I can make this into a fucking story when it's not.
Right.
It's unfortunate, but that's the era we live in, bro.
Yeah, that's all facts. That is all facts. Yeah. As far as the New England, I don't see it, and you sound like you don't see it either. But I did want to touch on this other video because it was kind of goes right along with it. I haven't watched all of it, but I think I watched enough to see that it's something in here we could touch on. So yeah, let's tap into this real quick. I think the first thing this dude said was the thing that made me want to watch this, because it just the statement, the claims that people make can sometimes just be like, what? Hold on, what is supporting that statement? Like, you know. So let's get into this one.
Right now, we have multiple serial killers operating in the United States, without a doubt.
According to the FBI, those serial killers could be connected to dozens and dozens of unsolved murders.
Investigators are actively working to track them down.
And this video is just for reference purposes. It was uploaded 8 months ago.
Focusing in on a specific pool of suspects.
Oh, yeah. In 2004, after noticing a pattern of murdered women being dumped along interstates, the FBI launched its Highway Serial Killings Initiative. The map you see behind me shows where bodies and remains have been found along highways in 500 cases over the course of 30 years. 20 years later, the FBI's work has led to several arrests and to hundreds of suspects. And today, investigators do believe most of those suspects are long-haul truckers. But they want to make it clear they're focusing in on a very small portion of them, as most truck drivers are innocent, hard workers, like a local man we talked to, Tim Reynolds.
So with this news, how do you feel about them even doing this story? Because they almost just told us this is some bullshit. They basically told us in few words that we think this is bullshit, but we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was, bro. This was a waste of somebody's time, man. And yeah, I say it's a bunch of bullshit. I don't even know how this story even aired. Because what you just heard, over 30 fucking years? Really?
Over 30.
What the
Yeah,
Come on.
I'm not gonna continue with it. I felt like the map was interesting how they had this shit, and it almost makes me think like, who is the source telling y'all this shit? Like, who is the source from the FBI that y'all said we got an FBI?
Listen, that's their job. Just like we spoke about social media content creators, that's their job.
Right.
They must be have nothing else to goddamn talk about that day, bro. That's how I felt. Like, you sit here and say, this over the United States of America, you show a map, and these bodies that you found are all over the United States of America over 30 years of it. Stop.
Yeah, cut it out.
Stop.
New edition. Cool it down. Cool it now. Whatever the fuck. Yeah.
Yeah. They did that. Yeah. They did that.
I don't know, man. I you know, far as this serial killer aspect, honestly, the statement, I'm not too mad about the statement. The initial statement of there's multiple serial killers active in America right now. I don't doubt that there may be, but I can't say that on a public platform if I don't have the juice to supplement that theory. Like, I can't do it. I
believe I think, of course, times change, things evolve. We have the internet. You can learn so much by just roaming the internet. And if you are one of these evil, intelligent people who get their rocks off on, killing people, if you read and find out what a serial killer is, and maybe you don't want to be categorized as a fucking serial killer, you might be that smart motherfucker. Say, you know what? I'll wait. I'll get another motherfucker next year. Or, this next person, the last person, I strangled them. This next person, I'm going to drive this knife in their heart.
Yeah.
The last person was a 80-year-old woman. This one going to be a 20-year-old man.
Right.
Come on, man. I mean, motherfuckers ain't stupid. If you're going to, say a serial killer is this, then you know what? I'm going to switch that up. You ain't going to find me. How about that?
Right. And still get his rocks off.
Yeah.
And still get whatever that inkling is inside of them to make them want to kill and have to kill. They still going to get that. It might not be as satisfying if you like to murder 16-year-old women and then now you got a 40-year-old man. You might not get the same satisfaction, but you still doing what you want to do, I guess. So
yeah, there's some satisfaction for a murderer is just killing in itself. It don't actually have to be a gender. It doesn't have to be a specific type of person. It just the murder, motherfucker wiping butt, all that weird. You know what I'm saying?
Golly, man, look, oh man,
it's real, bro. It's real.
Yeah, and and when we talk about the era of the serial killer, it was an infancy. Like these psycho analysis that were done on different serial killers who were locked up. You seen the movie Butterfly. What is it?
Butterfly Effect?
No, Silence of the Lambs. I said Butterfly. I meant Lambs.
Oh.
But yeah, like you see the girl, how she went in there and she's trying to, get it. Like this is all the infancy of this term even being created and all of this happening. And then now, shit, all these years later, yeah, of course, they're going to change their MO. they gonna change how they move. They gonna, you know, might be in another country doing this shit. You know, like, hey, I can't do this shit here. They got too many cameras around here. Let me get little and go to Costa Rica. They ain't got as many cameras. I can get my rocks off and do my little sexual deviant acts and all this shit in another country. Like, you know, who knows? But one thing I do know, you can't just sit around and just scream serial killer every time you see a few bodies. Because and the police know that, like how they said, the police aren't saying this in the first video we watched. The police have not said that. Of course they're not going to say this because they don't want to put fear in the hearts of the people in this New England area. They say, we think we might have a serial killer on the loose. Nah, you can't say that.
Nope.
You got to know. You got, like, look, he killed somebody at this house and 6 houses down, this house. Like, say it when you know.
When you know. Yeah, because you don't want to put fear in the community on just assumption or a guess. Now,
right.
You want to let them do. You want them to be aware when you know for a fact this is what it is.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right.
You got anything else on this topic before we get up out of here?
Hey, nah, but hey, you social media content creators in the true crime sector, man. Hey, man, I understand what you do, and if you're doing it and doing it the right way, salute you.
Yeah.
Don't make a story when there isn't. You feel me?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that sums it up well. Definitely hit that like button one time for the channel, man. That's Boss Man. I'm YJ, man. We about this thing, man.
Okay.